Hey guys, Bob here from Raw Strength and Muscle, and this is part 2 of the last video I did about how If It Fit Your Macros and calorie counting doesn't really work effectively in the real world, okay? And I just wanted to give up another example of how badly this can work, okay? For those of you guys who don't know me, I used to live in Germany, okay? And when I lived in Germany, there weren't a whole lot of very overweight people, okay? Most of the people, especially the women that I knew there, were in shape, okay? They weren't fat. They were actually pretty well dressed, well groomed, very attractive, okay? And they were not overweight. As opposed to here, where you go to Walmart and you see someone who just eats ho-hos and fluffy goo-goo cakes 25 hours a day, and then they put on some nasty, disgusting, stained, fucking stretched out fucking jogging suit, and they fucking cart their ass around fucking Walmart to buy more crap to eat and drink. In Germany, like, everybody looked good. I'm like, where are all the fat people? I don't know. Where are all the people that aren't dressed like fashion people? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just gonna enjoy it, okay? But the thing is, I also didn't really see any very in shape people when I was living in Germany, okay? I never saw any like really obese people. There were some, but not a whole lot. And I also never really saw any jacked and tan and ripped guys, especially women, okay? The first time that I saw a woman who was like really, really in good shape, like really fucking jacked. And I'm not talking about male bodybuilder jacked. I'm talking about like bikini model type girl, the kind of girl who like works out hard with the weights and has like a very relatively lean, but also a very toned body, was when I left Germany, came back to America, okay? So the point I'm trying to make here is, like, a lot of the people in Germany lived healthily. Like, they would wake up in the morning, they'd have like some muesli or maybe some, whatever, maybe some kind of like a little pastry, but it wasn't like a donut with all kinds of crap in it. It would be like, like a cup, like a piece of bread, like a roll they cut open, they put some meat and some cheese on, they'd have that or whatever, have a cup of coffee, whatever. It was a relatively, like, basically it's just calorie counting, okay? Now, what I want to say is, the women, though, especially, like I said, they weren't really physically active outside of maybe going for walks a lot. Some people would buy a dog specifically as an excuse, like, now I have to go for a walk every day. And I'm not talking about walking out to the front step and letting him take a shit in the front lawn and then going back in. I'm talking about, like, you live in a little village, you would go for like a walk for like a half hour, turn around and walk back with your dog, like every day, like that was your thing, So basically you have people who count their calories and who eat, quote, healthy, okay, and who are somewhat physically active, but like I said, they don't do strength training and they don't really take care of their macronutrients that well. So the point is, like I said, you would see a lot of women where, like, you'd see them, like, they'd have like a great body on them, like their pants would be like, oh my God, their body would look great. And you'd get their pants off and things would kind of hang. Like when the jeans were up, everything was up. And then when the jeans came down, stuff kind of hung down. Or you'd see a woman where, like, even after you took her pants off, she was looking good, and you'd like grab her and it would be like, you kind of like her ass, like your hand would kind of like go into it a little bit, kind of like squishy squish, which is fine. Like I said, I'm not saying that people have to be perfect, but once again, what we're talking about are women who are in their 20s and their 30s. Now, imagine what's going to happen when they have such low muscle mass for their body fat, okay, that they get to a point when they're, instead of 20s or 30s, they're in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s. Now, this is where osteoporosis sets in because you don't have the muscles pulling on the bones to strengthen them. This is where people become feeble, where they can't really walk very well because they have such little muscle mass in their 20s and 30s. Now, when they're in their 60s or their 70s or their 80s, they have even that much less muscle mass, okay? So that's like, the problem, once again, when you have people who all they do is they count calories. And yes, I'm healthy because I'm not overweight. There's a lot more to it than that, okay? First of all, and second, is this really what you want? Like, I knew a girl who, a lot of women in Germany, they would do like TFP shoots, which basically like time for print. Basically, a guy is like an amateur photographer, a girl is like an amateur model. So she models for him for free. He photographs her for free. He gets subjects to build his portfolio. She gets photos to build her portfolio, and everybody's happy, right? So a lot of women would do that. And like I was dating, a couple, but like one particular woman who used to do that a lot. She always had these great, wonderful pictures of her, running around in a bikini or whatever for her, Facebook and, stuff like that. And basically, it's like her diet was, when she started to get overweight, she would live on nothing but soda, not even diet soda, but just like soda and like little tiny bars, like the little candy bars that you give out for like Halloween or something. She would basically not eat. She would just drink coffee, maybe drink some water, drink soda when she started to get a little bit of hungry. When she got really hungry, like I'm gonna drop dead or I'm gonna vomit kind of hungry, then she would eat a couple of those little candy bars just to make herself feel better. Then when she didn't feel like she was gonna pass out anymore, she stopped, and then she would just go. And that's how she basically dieted, quote. And that's all that she ate. She didn't think about protein. She didn't do any kind of strength training. She didn't do any kind of training whatsoever. She would just starve herself on soda and tiny little candy bars. And once again, the little baby boys with If It Fits Your Macros, she eats her favorite foods and she stays within her caloric maintenance and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? She also, like I said, first of all, if she's putting that much effort into dieting and she's starving herself to this point while she's dieting, why doesn't she go ahead and do an actual diet that will actually help her be healthy and be hearty and even look better, okay? Because once again, like I said, if a guy's 300 pounds and obese, and then he starves himself down with calorie counting to 150 pounds, and he's just scrawny and he just looks like crap, he put all this work in. Yes, he's healthier than he was when he was massively obese, but still he looks like horseshit. And like I said, this woman who put so much effort in and so much, discipline into starving herself on soda and candy bars to stay slim, she would have looked a lot better if she had actually been more aggressive. Instead of cutting her calories so much, she had done some exercise, strength training specifically, and instead of just eating candy bars, eating, like I said, more protein, more healthy fats, carbs perhaps, if they agree with her. It's just something to think about. Like I said, at the end of the day, gaining and losing weight on the scale is a matter of caloric intake, but we're talking about gaining or losing weight on the scale. We're not talking about gaining muscle and losing fat. We're talking about gaining fat and losing muscle is just as much of a possibility. And how are you going to look, feel, perform, and age if all you care about are calories, all you care about is scale weight, you don't care about your muscle mass, your strength, or your general well-being, especially as you get older. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comment down below, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, hit that little bell thing so you find out when I have a new video coming out if you have not done that yet. Aside from that, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.